between Salinas and Clovis for a long time. But as far as the football game went, and it was an absolutely dominating performance from the Clovis Cougars. A lot of talk about them this year. They've been building to this season for a long time. Deegan Rose, from starting his freshman year against Long Beach Poly at home, and getting beat up, right, to what that team looked like today or last night. What that team looks like today is a formidable football team that's going to have a serious chance to win a Central Section championship. Defense was on point. Number 17 was our player of the game, Lolo. It's what they call him. It's his first name. The dude was a stud on the defensive line on the end. He was in the backfield pretty much the entire first half. Quarterback for Salinas, he had no chance. Even running the football, he was in on every play. An absolute stud. A bunch of other really good players on the defensive side, too. Caruso was really good, sophomore. They got a ton of sophomores that got playing time as well. Sophomore, seniors, a nice mix. So Clovis is going to be good for a while. Deegan Rose, 5 touchdowns, was pulled in the middle of the third quarter. Israel Briggs, a lot of talk about him. I'm glad Aaron Wilkins last week really, was honest about Briggs coming to Clovis. Said, yeah, the young man has had a hard time, and Clovis is a good place for him. And line him up at tight end, a little bit in the slot. And one of the question marks, right, is where they're going to put him, right? He's a tight end / wide receiver, and he did a good job blocking as well. This team is going to be really tough this season. Their non-league schedule, I'm going to be honest, isn't really going to show us a whole heck of a lot. Now, the Central Grizzlies lost to Grant last night, 42-20. Central East came in as the number 1 team, deservedly so. Clovis was number 2. Now, is last night's performance enough to leapfrog Central East? In my opinion, I don't think I can yet. Was Clovis impressive? Absolutely. Would I, have liked to see Central East compete a little bit more in that game? A lot of silly mistakes on their end against Grant, yeah. But still got to beat Central. And Clovis, I don't really see a ton of weakness with that team right now. Here to talk about it, got producing the show, Tanvir Singh. He was at the game last night with us, did a great job with the stats. I don't want to steal his thunder. He's going to have opportunity to throw out some stats right there. All right, so Tanvir, it's your first time watching Clovis this season as well. Last week you were able to watch Central East with us. Mm-hmm. Just what did you come away with? What was your overall impression of Clovis last night?
Well, it was kind of interesting because I'm a Clovis East grad, but this was the first time I was in La Monica to see a Clovis High game, and the atmosphere was basically the same, basically as good as advertised. But what I really liked about Clovis High, and this is across all of high school football, I think to an extent the QB and I think a receiver and a great D-line is the biggest keys for sustained success, especially in high school. And I think this game for that out of Clovis High, I thought played very well, and his ability to hit the middle of the field after establishing the pass was really good. And then also those jet sweeps were able to tire out the Salinas defense going back and forth. So overall, I think the offensive side of the ball was a big game changer for Clovis High. On the defensive side of the ball, I know that you guys talked about how good the Clovis High D-line did in terms of the pass rush, but what I really liked about them, they stopped the run very early in the game, and I think that really didn't allow Salinas to get into a rhythm because they tried to rush the ball multiple times and they just were not able to get it going on the ground. Now, obviously, they got it going in the pass later, but I think that's what was the key for Clovis establishing that lead early on in that game. So, overall, a great performance for Clovis High, and I am really looking forward to how they're going to do, down the line in the later parts of the season.
Absolutely. And I want to throw out a couple other names here that really impressed. Carlos Young, number 2, was all over the field.
Yep.
Caught a touchdown pass, was returning punch. You can see he was frustrated because he was really close to taking a couple to the house.
Yeah.
He's very impressive. Sterling Edwards was as well a sophomore. I mentioned Caruso's only a sophomore. Number 17, Lolo Clark. Man, 6'4", 205 pounds, listed on Max Preps. Interesting to know as well, Maddox Merrill did not suit up for that game. Number 22, he's a senior. He's headed to Fresno State on a preferred walk-on. He wasn't suited up, but they certainly didn't miss a beat. And number 28, Adrian Dunkley got some carries for the Cougars as well. He's only a sophomore, but hey, it was a team effort. It was a dominating performance for sure. You got those stats up there, Tanvir?
Yeah, so I mean,
You got some stats to throw out?
Right, so if we're just going off of like the passing, rushing, and receiving, Deegan Rose, he went 11 for 15 for 215 pass yards. He had 5 pass TDs. 2 of them were on jet sweeps, but the other 3, I thought he looked very impressive in those. He also had a rush for 18 yards. Caruso, the running back for Clovis High, 10 carries, 95 rush yards, and a rush TD, along with 2 catches for 29 receiving yards and a receiving TD. And then Sterling Edwards, as you said, he had 3 catches, 45 for 2 touchdowns. I think an all-encompassing performance from this Clovis High offense.
I agree. And one throw really stuck out, man. Coach Hill was impressed. There was a blitz. Salinas player was in Deegan Rose's face, past the left hash mark, and he threw an absolute dime in the air on the money. I can't remember. I don't think that was Carlos Young. I don't think it was Briggs either, so I can't remember exactly who caught it, but it was definitely a Division I college level throw, right? A guy right in his face and just put it right on the money for about 35 yards.
Yeah, I think you get that sense when you see a quarterback that they are going D1. And I just think that his poise to be able to hit his receivers between the safeties and the linebackers really showed that he has the touch to his pass that can convert to that next level. So great performance from Deegan Rose's perspective as well.
Yeah, I agree. And you mentioned you're a Clovis East grad. It's kind of weird for you to see all that blue on the sidelines and be watching that LaMonica for you. But
right.
I mean, the 2 games that you've been to, the Central and Inglewood game, and then this one, man, isn't high school football just such a really, really cool experience? Going from the cheerleaders and the fire engine that Clovis High brings out, and the bands and all that stuff. It's just a really cool atmosphere, isn't it?
I think it's really big here, especially in the Central Valley, because it is so close to what the fabric of the Central Valley is, all these communities coming together. And that's what I love about high school football. I think I've actually grown to love high school football even more over the last couple of years. Last year especially, I think it really caught my eye. And now going to these 2 games, especially, the Central East game, new feel to that whole team. And now Clovis High is something that I'm very familiar with in terms of LaMonica. I think it's been a great experience overall going to these games, and I think going to more is definitely in my future.
And you watched the 2 best teams in the Central section back-to-back weeks, and you graduated college yesterday. Is that true as well?
Yes, I did.
All right,
a big day yesterday for sure.
Big day, absolutely. All right, Tanvir, thanks for coming on and sharing your thoughts about the Clovis and Salinas game. Appreciate it.
No problem. Appreciate you.
All right, I am going to list. Oh my gosh, time is absolutely flying. All right, I'm going to do the best I can, listing some of the games from last night. So there were 9 games played on Thursday. Bakersfield Christian took care of Tehachapi 49-7. Delano over West 41-35. Garza, we're going to hear from Coach Ferris around 11:05 today. Defeated Mount Whitney 53-18. Hanford and Sanger. I wish I could talk about this game a little bit more. Big win for Hanford. 39-35. That was a back-and-forth game. Just when I thought Sanger was going to wear down Hanford, I had a couple friends that were texting me updates. Hanford comes back with the final touchdown. Jaron Mao, the quarterback, threw for 302 yards and 5 touchdowns in that one. We mentioned the Reedley and Sunnyside game. We're hearing from Tony Gates, the head coach, after the break. They won 40-35. Shafter got a good team. Keep an eye on those Generals, 55-18 over Arvin. Bakersfield High beat Garfield down in Los Angeles, 34-0. So the Drillers are 2-0 on this season. All right, so Buchanan with a big win against Kennedy, 31-6. Why is that a big win? Well, right, a couple question marks about Buchanan. They played pretty good last week in the first half against Bakersfield. Delano, or the Kennedy from Delano, a D3 school, had a similar type offense as far as Buchanan goes. But, nice win. Nice win for Buchanan, 31-6. Clovis East and Kingsburg. Kingsburg is actually leading that game 10-6 at halftime, but the Timberwolves come back and win 27-10. Kingsburg's quarterback, unfortunately, went down just before halftime, and their offense was just absolutely sputtering after that. But congratulations to the Timberwolves. They are now they're now going to play. Let me look here. They're going to be playing Sanger. They beat Bullard the week before, so they got a tough game against Sanger next week. Clovis West, 43, Liberty 14. I got to be honest, I was surprised by that score. What a great win for the Golden Eagles. J.J. Howard, 5 touchdowns. Titus Denmer had a huge game, had a fake punt for a first down. R.J. Jefferson with a couple touchdowns as well. How about that? Last week they lost at Edison Huntington Beach, but this week, man, that's a really, really nice win. We're going to be talking with Trevor Horn around 11:40 about that game. Corcoran defeated Hanford West 21-0. Dos Palace 31. Chowchilla 7. Good win for the Broncos. Fireball shuts out Fowler 35-0. Garces Memorial defeated Paso 29-21. Golden West over Dinuba. They got a really good offense, 48-19. It's a team to keep your eye on. Hoover defeated Santa Maria 38-6. Emmanuel defeated Kern Valley 46-7. Kerman 53 points. Last week they scored 53-19 over Carruthers. So that the Lions keep rolling after their D3 championship last year. Liberty of Madera 38, Mendota 13. Madera with another huge win, 49-12 over Torres. Their freshman running back. Saw him last week run a 98-yarder. Well, he scored 4 more touchdowns. Estrada is his last name. He is an absolute dude. 4 touchdowns for a freshman running back. Keep an eye on that kid. All right, scroll down a little bit more here. Sanger West defeated Coalinga. Look at that, 7-0. Riverdale over Orange Cove, 28-6. Selma defeated Fresno, 26-21. Sierra Pacific, 36. Golden Valley, 6. St. Joseph shuts out Edison of Fresno, 28-0. Strathmore all over Avenel, 53-7. Tulare Union, actually, he scored 53. Oh, it says forfeit here on high school ratings. I didn't see that, so I don't know why it says forfeit. But at one point, according to Max Preps last night, it was 53-0 at one point in that game. Tulare Western beats CBC 12-7, low-scoring game. Washington Union, a little bit of a shocker, defeated Lemoore 34-21. Woodlake defeated Exeter 41-0. Boulder with a nice win over Mayfair down south, 15-9. Tyler Franklin scored the game-winning touchdown on the ground in that one. We mentioned Clovis Salinas, 49-14. And Grant and Central East, 42-20. I mentioned that, so Central East could have really sent a lot of waves in the state of California with the win there, but they fall at Grant. We'll see if they can bounce back next week. And what's going on with Frontier of Bakersfield? Lose to Liberty from Brentwood, 14-7. They've only scored 2 touchdowns in 2 games this season. We're going to ask Trevor Horn what's going on with Liberty, who was supposed to be really good this year and compete with the big boys. San Joaquin Memorial, nice win, 27-25 over Christian Brothers. And, that'll about do it. Whew. A lot of scores. A lot of good football last night. All right, we're going to take a break, and we got Reedley High coach Tony Gates. After the break, you're listening to it on the Central Valley Sports Report, 1430 ESPN.
Hey, it's Phil Bonatti from Behind the Bench for my friends at Valley Athletics, the new go-to sports facility in the Central Valley. Founded by Valley legend Vance Wahlberg and former Bulldog volleyball coach Jonathan Winder. Valley Athletics allows athletes to really shine at volleyball, basketball, and pickleball. Visit valleyathletics.co right now to learn more about enrolling in our current volleyball and basketball offerings that include league play. That's valleyathletics.co. Proud sponsors of high school athletics.
Get your business noticed and stand out from the crowd by visiting Megaprints. Working with the Valley's most prestigious and high-profile businesses since 1998, we print and install custom-designed signs for businesses of all types and sizes. From yard signs to banners to wallpaper and fleet graphics, Megaprints has the state-of-the-art capability to turn the signage you've dreamed of into a reality. Visit megaprints.com today to see our work and what we can do for your business.
Football fans, it's Phil Bonatti here with Behind the Bench. Big thing I think about with tailgates is the food, and the best place to get ready for it is visiting Grocery Outlet in Kerman, Sanger, and Fresno's Southeast, Downtown, and Northwest stores. Stock up and save big on quality meats, snacks, drinks, beer, and wine, and same quality as the big chain stores, but at lower prices. And while you're there, sign up for the Tailgate Ready contest to win a pair of tickets to each Fresno State home game and $100 for your tailgate only at participating Grocery Outlet stores here in the Central Valley.
From the roar of Valley Children's Stadium to the heart of the Red Wave, Fresno State football ignites the Valley, and Precision Civil Engineering is proud to help power that momentum. Named 2024's best engineering firm by the Business Journal, Precision Civil Engineering delivers top-tier planning, surveying, and design building, the backbone of the Central Valley. Proud partners of Fresno State Athletics, because when the dogs rise, the Valley rises. Go Dogs! Visit precisioneng.net today.
Hey, football fans, you know what makes a team great on the gridiron? It's when all the players do their part to make everything work. That's what Superior Pipe can do for your food processing plant, chemical plant, boiler service, or tank truck. Thanks to their reliable and durable pipes, valves, and fittings, you can be sure that everything that makes your team perform is running strong. And with their same-day service and competitive pricing, they'll help make sure all your players are doing their part. Call now at 266-PIPE or visit online at SuperiorPipeUSA.com today. Go Dogs!
At Citizens Business Bank, we've been taking a personal approach to banking for over 40 years and are consistently recognized as one of the top performing banks in the nation. Hi, I'm Susan Woosner, Senior Vice President and Manager of Citizens Business Bank in Fresno. We believe in the importance of building long-lasting and genuine relationships with our customers. We want to provide you with the solutions you need to grow your business, because your success is our success. Citizens Business Bank, member FDIC.
Fall has arrived at Patrick James, where style meets tradition. Come in and see the latest items from the brands you love. Peter Millar, Robert Graham, Faraday, and True Grit, just to name a few. Stop by and experience our brand new shop-in-shops featuring Johnny O and the very first Martin Dingman shop west of the Rockies. Discover finely crafted apparel, exceptional service, and a locally owned store that's been serving the Valley for generations. Patrick James, where looking your best begins this fall.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
High school sports talk here at First String Sports, Blackstone Avenue, in between Herndon and Sierra. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know if you heard it or not, but I hope you guys enjoyed that Herndon story that I shared in the opening, my opener, about hitting 11 straight lights on Herndon, which was unheard of. Right, I've driven that Herndon Avenue eastbound so many times in my life and hitting on green. So I don't know. Maybe those are the types of stories that people find funny and interesting and bring a little levity to sports sometimes. All right, we got head coach of Reedley, Tony Gates, on the show. Tony's been on the show a few times. Always enjoy my conversations with him. They are 2-0 on the season. I was following that incredible game against Sunnyside on Thursday that they came away with a wild victory, 40-36. So congrats first on that win, Coach, and good to talk to you. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing well, and I got to tell you, Danny Jimenez says to tell you hi.
Danny's the best, man. Danny's an old-time Reedley guy. My mom is actually a graduate of Reedley High as well. So, yeah, Danny's a great guy, and I'm always happy to receive tweets from Danny about the good things that are happening in Reedley area. So tell me about that. Let's, first of all, let's kind of go into the lead in what you guys were expecting at Sunnyside. So it's a away game. You're playing in a really nice stadium there at Sunnyside. They share with some other Fresno Unified schools. Right? Like, just talk about the preparation that you guys had for them. Obviously, a new team in Sunnyside, new coaching staff, new philosophy, new system. But what were you guys? What was the game plan going in?
Yeah, well, you said it. Sunnyside's been a proud program. They've done well the last couple of years. They've had, Tanner Wilson last year was their quarterback for 4 years, and we played a pretty consistent. Obviously, when we were the NYL, we were in there with them, and I think about 3 years in a row it came down to them and us for the league title, and we stole one from them. They stole a couple from us. But big school, a lot of athletes to choose from. Didn't know with the new coach if the scheme would change or anything like that, and really didn't. And I'm just really proud of our kids because we've kind of overcome some adversity. We had to play that game on a Thursday. The week prior, we had to play on a Thursday out at Orange Cove due to some stadium renovations. And so these kids have already overcome some pretty dramatic changes. And, short week, it was a hot week, and they just really came through. Last week, the Monday and Tuesday were the two best practices I think we've had a week, and I think the players would tell you they were the toughest practices we've had. And I'm just so proud of how they performed under pressure.
And your week one win was against Fresno High. I think I wrote something down wrong. So Fresno High, you beat them in week one 47-6, and then the Sunnyside win 40-35. Okay, so I read it on Twitter, thanks again to Danny Jimenez, and saw the video. But just kind of explain the entire evening, what you saw unfold in the football field, especially that incredible game that Will Bacon had for you.
Yeah, so we knew we'd be evenly matched. The only good thing about playing on Thursday, we were able to go and watch live Sunnyside and Madera, and there's nothing like watching live reps. And so we knew we had a good game plan going in, but we also knew that I call it a 50-50 game. If we play our game, it'll be all right. But if we mess up a little bit, we could easily lose it. We kind of got behind a little bit. We threw a couple picks, and we had to let them return a kickoff. So we found ourselves down 28-20 at half. But we all looked at each other and we said, "Man, if it weren't for this, it weren't for that, right?" But really, we felt like we were in control of the game, and we just needed to overcome some of those mistakes that we made. And so kids went right back to work. There wasn't any doubt in the locker room. It was just, they were ready to roll. And, defense did a great job. We had a really good game plan going in defensively. And, we found ourselves with the ball in the fourth quarter down and about 60 yards to go. And I had no doubt with Will Bacon and what he's capable of. The kids just knew we were going to go down and score and win this thing. It was fun. It was a great high school football game.
6 touchdowns on the game, 6 rushing touchdowns for Will Bacon. All right, so just kind of take us through. I think it was 4th and 6. I'm not sure what yard line he ran his touchdown on, his game-winning touchdown, but just kind of walk us through the play call and what you saw on the field.
Yeah, so Will's most dangerous when he rolls out. So we like to roll him out, and on our play script, our go-to for the 3rd and long, 4th and long type of stuff is a rollout pass, and because it gives us a dual threat. If something open, Will's going to hit it, but he also has the ability to run, and that's exactly what happened. He hit the edge, he saw an opening, and I've said all year, if he gets past linebacker level, there's a really good chance this kid scores. And that run was amazing and obviously won the game for us, but there was a run he had earlier where he reversed field and scored a touchdown. And I haven't seen that since Ryan Workington was here at Reedley, that type of speed and that type of agility. But, yeah, Will's performance was amazing. And you got to understand, week one, he had 5 touchdowns. And get this, he threw for 2, ran for 2, and caught 1. So he's playing on a different level, and he's got kids around him to support him. This is probably since I've been at Reedley, the best skill position group I've had. We've got some really good receivers that can get downfield and catch the ball. We've got those same kids are usually playing defense, and they're a little nasty. Like they like to come up and hit, and we can run a little more man coverage than we have in the past. So, we're sitting pretty good. I'm real proud of how they're working, how the staff has prepared them.
That's great. You guys are going to be taking on Orosi. I'll get to that game in a little bit. I want to know more about Will Bacon, and just you mentioned that he likes to roll out, and when he gets to that next level past the linebackers, there's nobody that's going to catch him. From the quarterback position, how many designed runs are those, or is just him just making things happen?
No, we have quite a few design runs with him. Obviously, we know what we have with him, and he scored several times on some QB misdirection runs that are designed, and he's very comfortable with that. His reads are really good. He's dialed in on what the defense is giving him, and he's just gotten so good. I think, when you are blessed to play varsity for 3 years or sometimes even 4 years, I think your senior year, the game just slows down for you, right? And you're almost become a coach out there, and I can just see that everything's slowed down with him now. He's making reads. He's letting the defense get themselves in a bad position and then taking advantage of it. So we have quite a bit of our offense designed around his ability to run the ball, and obviously his ability to throw it as well. But, he's quite a gift to us.
So you mentioned Ryan Workentine.
I should point out also,
Go ahead, Coach.
He's like a 4.9 GPA, if that's possible, and he's going to be an engineering or a STEM major, so it's like having a coach back there.
Absolutely. Oh God, we definitely love to hear those GPAs and college in the future for the student athletes. All right, so you did mention, I want to talk about Will's family as well, but you mentioned Ryan Workentine and that great senior year that he had, just an absolute gem of a kid on the roster at Fresno State at running back. Like, comparison, I know you don't want to compare them necessarily as people, because they're both great kids, but like running styles wise, are they kind of similar? Obviously Ryan was a running back and Will's a quarterback, but like I saw some similarities between the two.
There are. They are. They both have top end speed, which is good. Which got Ryan to where he's at, and potentially Will as well. They're both students of the game, and I think that's a little bit underrated. Both of them knew the offense inside and out. I would say that Will is a little bit more shifty. He's a high jumper. He's a really good high jumper, and those legs are springy, and so he'll spin a little more and jump cut a little more than maybe Ryan did. But what they both have in common is that top end speed. Once they get going, we scrimmaged Sanger West, and Will ran an outside run, and I thought, a couple guys got an angle on him, and he hit that next speed that if you've seen it, you know it. And I just told my staff, I go, he's got that top end stuff. So, both of them, a lot of similarities. I think Will's a little bit more shiftier. Like I said, his legs are springy, man. He can jump. I think he high jumped like 6'4" this year.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Sounds like you got a really good athlete on your team. So on social media, when those plays were posted, a lot of people mentioned, I remember Will's dad doing the same thing. I think he's on staff as well. Has he been helping you?
Yeah. So funny how life comes around. I actually was one of his coaches when he was in high school. I was his coach on his staff. And, Dad was a good high school quarterback for us, played at Reed College, and then got an opportunity to play back at Benedictine, back in Kansas. And so, the lineage is there. And, Will and his younger brother Kyle, brother Max, they've come up in a football family, so they can dissect plays. His brother Max does my stats for me, and he was with a working team that whole time, and they were buddies. And so Max would break down film, and so that whole family is a football family. There's no doubt.
That's awesome. All right, so let's talk about the team a little bit more. You mentioned you got some really good skill players. What's the ceiling for this team, or what have you been really trying to preach to this year's team?
You know what? Again, we've overcome some stuff, and it's one of those life lessons where you look at him and say, it's out of our control, boys, so don't worry about it. And that's a great life lesson. And so we just have taken that mantra. And these kids, they're tough. I call them scrappy, and I don't think they like that. They don't. This generation doesn't quite understand what that means. But they are just. We're not huge. but we like to hit. We're kind of nasty about hitting. We kind of really like hitting folks, and there's no quit in us. O-line is just, last week I was so impressed with them. Such a tremendous improvement from week 1 to week 2. And, everything's a work in progress, but they are workers. We've worked hard all year in the weight room. We've had a really good spring and summer, and it's just good to see a little bit of hard work pay off with them.
So next week you're going to be taking on Orosi, who looks really good this year. Selma, obviously, coming off of their Central Section championships. And you got Mount Whitney, Hanford West. And then, hey, just from my perspective, you got some really tough games the last 4. You got Kerman, Washington Union, Kingsburg, and CBC. Right, obviously, you're not thinking too much about those games. You probably started the process against Orosi. But when you are preparing for a team like Orosi, who, right, they're always tough, and they're well coached as well. Like, what's the game plan going into that game?
Yeah, you like that schedule? That's
right. I do. As a fan, absolutely. I love that schedule.
Yeah. So Coach White's been there for a long time. Rosie, this is a tremendous challenge for us because you hit the nail on the head. Coach White is a tremendous demander of good, tough football, and they just line up and they got a fullback, and everybody who wants the fullback to come back, well, watch the Orosi film because they'll line up at that fullback and try to hit you in the mouth with a lead block. Mm-hmm. And those linemen are just foot to foot coming off the ball, and when you fall asleep, they'll try to throw it deep on you. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge. They don't run a lot of plays, but they run them good and they're tough. And the other key to that is they eat a lot of clock. High school football, 12-minute quarters. We played them last year at their place, and I think we had the ball 3 times total in the first half, and the third possession was with like 2 minutes left in the half. So it really puts pressure on your offense to be good and be consistent and move that ball down. Obviously, the defense, it's 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards kind of deal. And so we're just going to have tough kids with a good game plan and just know that at the end of this thing, man, we're going to need some ice for sure.
Talking with Tony Gates, the head football coach at Reedley High School. We got about another minute or two with Coach. All right, so I need to know more about these renovations. So I don't know anything about this. Is the stadium going through some changes right now? What's happening over there in Reedley?
Yeah, it's fantastic. So a few years ago, we got new bleachers on the north and south end. Really nice, really nice. We just so many good improvements to the school in the last couple of years. I mean, I can go on other parts of campus, but obviously football stadium is where we spend our time. So our turf, it was time. It was time to get new turf, and our district did a really good job, went out, did a national search, wound up going with a company that puts in turf for Alabama and Michigan, so I feel real confident on that. We were due to be done for the first game, but, construction projects, it happens, right? You get delayed. I think there was a delay in supply of some material, so a little bit of a delay, but they are working night and day. The district's out there holding them to the fire, and literally those guys are working from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. every morning, including weekends, to get it done. I just walked it a few minutes ago. It looks fantastic. Kids are excited. We're fingers crossed that we're going to be home this Friday for Orosi. We really are. But we'll see how it goes. We're back out in Orange Cove, and we feel comfortable out there as well.
All right, good stuff. I've been to that stadium a lot. That was, back in the 80s. That's where Emmanuel played their home games too. So I'm very familiar with that stadium. I haven't been there in a while, so I'm sure it looks a lot different from what I remember. All right, Coach, we got another minute with you. What do you love? And I love our conversations every time we have them. But what do you love about high school football and Reedley football in general?
It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for me. People go, "Hey, how's your team look this year?" And I kind of stole this from Mike Vogt when I was on his staff, right? And he always says, "Well, I'll tell you in 10 years," because you just get the opportunity to help young men develop as young men and learn, accountability, responsibility, hard work pays off in life, and Reedley is a tremendous challenge. I have a lot of support from my school and my admin, and just the opportunity to. I mean, that game Thursday was as fun as it gets, right? You're down in the fourth quarter, and you're driving, and at the end, everybody's smiling, and that's so fun. And that's what I really like. I like just the camaraderie with the boys and teaching them good, hard life lessons through the beauty of what I think is the greatest game in the world.
Absolutely. Well, you're doing a fantastic job. You're making a difference in kids' lives, and a lot of people see it, and they appreciate it. So, Coach Gates, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate you, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate everything you do for high school sports, man.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a break, and around 11:05 or so, Joseph Ferris is going to come on the show. He's coming here to First String Sports, and I always love talking to Coach Ferris. We're going to have a good time. Hope you guys enjoy it, too. You're listening to it all in the Central Valley Sports Report on 1430 ESPN.
Your home for high school sports. 1430 ESPN, the Valley's local sports leader. KFIG Fresno.
Born Columbus, Ohio, number 3 Ohio State, and top-ranked Texas have just started the second half. It is Ohio State on top by a count of 7-0. C.J. Donaldson's 1-yard touchdown run capped off a scoring drive that lasted just over 8 minutes for the Buckeyes. As for Texas quarterback Arch Manning, he went 5 for 10, throwing for just 26 yards in the first half. Right now on ABC, number 24 Tennessee is hosting Syracuse, and the Vols hold a 31-14 lead during the final seconds of the first half. Coming up today at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN, it's 5th-ranked Georgia hosting Marshall. Also at 3:30 Eastern on ABC, number 8 Alabama visits Florida State. ESPN's Nick Saban talked about the advantage quarterback Ty Simpson will have with his extended time with the program.
And I have all the respect in the world for these guys that, stay in a program for 3 years, develop, wait their turn, and I think that's the thing that Ty has done extremely well.
One of the biggest spreads of the day is in Happy Valley. Penn State is favored by 43.5 on ESPN Bet against Nevada. In baseball, the key matchup of the American League wildcard race will be in Cleveland, where the Guardians host the Mariners here on ESPN Radio. Cleveland took the opener last night, and the Guardians are now 4 games behind Seattle for the final wildcard spot in the AL. Our coverage from Cleveland gets underway here on ESPN Radio at 6:30 Eastern. At the U.S. Open, Coco Gauff has advanced. She won her third-round match in straight sets. On the men's side, top seed Jannik Sinner trailing in the first set 5-4. Coverage continues on ESPN2 and the ESPN app.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Monday, we'll recap a huge Week 1 in college football and catch you up on anything you might have missed from the weekend. It's Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Football fans, listen up. Are you tailgate ready? Grocery Outlet and ESPN Fresno are going to make that happen with our Tailgate Ready contest. Up for grabs is a pair of tickets to a Fresno State home football game, as well as $100 towards your tailgate. Sign up at Fresno's Southeast, Northwest, and downtown locations today. We'll select a winner before each Fresno State home game this season. That means 6 chances to win. So be sure to stop by your local grocery outlet today and win big for your tailgate and go support the Bulldogs.
Prices on steel and materials are up everywhere, but you can still get unbeatable value for your residential, commercial, industrial, or ag projects at Pacific Steel Supply in Fresno. They'll match or beat any competitor's price by at least 10% on top quality steel, metal roofing, and components. Ready when you are. Massive inventory? Yes. Same-day delivery? Yes. 24/7 service? Yes. Get your free quote today. Call or swing by Pacific Steel Supply, Ashland and Parkway in Fresno off Highway 99, or visit PacificSteelSupply.com.
Introducing The Sidebar, a brand new open-air beer garden at Me and Ed's Coney Island Grill in River Park. Experience a new way to catch a game, hang with friends, and enjoy new appetizers, char-grilled burgers, salads, wings with over 10 house-made sauces, and of course, world-famous Me and Ed's pizza. Thirsty? Try our self-poured taps with over a dozen craft beers, wines, ciders, and craft seltzers. Plus a full bar with an impressive selection of tequilas, whiskeys, and craft cocktails. The Sidebar at Me and Ed's Coney Island Grill, now open in River Park.
Life gets messy, but your space doesn't have to. We are Rise and Shine Janitorial and Commercial Cleaning Services, where we clean because your time is important. From offices to schools to medical facilities, Rise and Shine handles it all with our trained staff and high-performance standards. Big jobs or small, Rise and Shine will never lock you into a contract. So let us take the stress off your plate. Contact Rise and Shine Janitorial and Commercial Cleaning Services. Call 559-649-5391 or visit riseshine559.com.
I know how important some of this equipment for the farmers is. Without it, they can't get the job done.
That's Bob Aguirre, service manager at Pioneer Equipment Company.
My philosophy is get the tractor in and get it out as fast as I can. It's not supposed to be in the shop. It's supposed to be out in the field working.
Pioneer provides quality service for Kubota, Land Pride, and Nelson Equipment. Stop by and say hi at our Fresno or Reedley locations, and we'll get your equipment serviced right away.
This is a family-oriented business. It's been great working for Pioneer Equipment.
Visit PioneerEquipmentCA.com.
The wait is over. Toledo's Mexican restaurant, family owned for over 30 years, is now open in Cedar Rainiz in Northeast Fresno. It's your spot for bold, authentic Mexican flavors and all your favorite sports games. Happy hour runs Monday through Friday, 2 to 5, plus weekends, Saturday and Sunday, 8 to 10 p.m., and Saturday mornings, 8 to 11 for college football. Enjoy $10 appetizers and $7 house margaritas. Toledo's, now with 3 locations in Clovis and Fresno. Order online at Toledo'sMexicanRestaurant.com.
Building a new warehouse? Adding on to your existing warehouse for more space? The boys from Fresno Rack and Shelving can help, because that's what they do. Fresno Rack's design department can help optimize your warehouse storage capabilities and increase your productivity with a large local stock of pallet racking, industrial parts shelving, in-house permitting, and installation departments. Fresno Rack and Shelving is the choice for you. Call or visit FresnoRack.com today.
At FFB, we know behind every business is a person. That's why we're more than a bank. We're a partner, a farming-focused bank for hard workers, a future-forward bank for big dreamers, and a family-friendly bank for the next generation of owners. From first ideas to major milestones, we're here to help you chase your goals and score big. So what can FFB mean for your business? Find out at ffb.bank. That's ffb.bank. FFB Bank. Let's win together.
From Clovis to Kingsburg, from Fresno to Bakersfield and everything in between, we've got you covered. This is the Central Valley Sports Report, your #1 source for high school highlights, riveting talk, and hometown heroes. And here is your host, Paul Meadors.
Welcome to hour number 2 of the Central Valley Sports Report on 1430 ESPN. Love to talk about high school sports, all the good stuff that's going on in the Central section. Football season is here. We are here for it. This is what the first weekend where we got high school football on Friday, college football on Saturday, and then we got NFL on Thursday, and then boom, that's going to start the massive 4-day stretch of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of football, and then of course the preparation, all that stuff, the talk about football, and we are definitely here for it. We love to talk about all the good things, all the good games that are going on in the Central section. All right, so Joseph Ferris is here to my left, live here at First String Sports. Bring him on every year. It's like clockwork, huh? It's like every time around, late August, you're coming on the show.
Yeah, no, it's an honor just to be out here, so thank you for keeping having me.
Well, you had a great summer. We're going to get into that in a second, but you had a game on Thursday, took care of Mount Whitney. You guys won your opening week as well. So last night, like when you got a Thursday game and you got, quotes, air quotes, a free Friday, which isn't free during this season, like what do you do? Are you breaking down family? Are you going to watch another game? Are you hanging out with your staff, your family? What's going on a Friday?
Well, I guess it just depends on the circumstances. For this particular Friday, my summer was pretty jam-packed, and then as soon as I got back, it was scrimmage week, then game week, then a game week where we traveled to Sacramento, and then coming back we were on a short week, so not a lot of time to have seen my family in the last month and a half, I'd say. So I made sure that me and my wife, we went to Ruth's Chris and had their happy hour menu, which is amazing. Not a cheap plug, but
that's right.
They got a great happy hour menu. And we hung out and then went home and hung out with the kids and I followed the scores on Max Preps, but I had coaches over at some other games scouting that were giving me updates, but I really just wanted to make sure I had some time with my family.
Absolutely, right? And so how old are your kids now?
My little girl, she's 8, and my little boy is 3.
3 already?
Yeah.
When your boy, wasn't he born was he born in the summer during football season?
No, he was born December 29th. And he was born, golly, he's 3, so what is that? 2022.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds right.
Yeah, he's growing up. He's a little football player running into the couches and stuff. And my daughter, she loves football, so she's at every game running around. Football family.
And one of your favorite things is getting that hug, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Getting that hug after the game.
Yeah.
Win or lose, you're getting it.
Win or lose, it just changes your perspective on things. Remember, make the main thing the main thing, and that's God in my family. So
absolutely. All right, so just kind of walk us through that Thursday game. So you had a tough one against Mesa Verde. That's up in where is that
Citrus
exactly?
Heights, up in Sacramento.
Citrus Heights.
Yeah.
18-12. Let's talk about that game for a little bit, right? It's kind of a grinding out game.
It was. You know what? We kind of had control of the game the whole time.
Okay.
I don't know if we were getting homered or if we were just being undisciplined. I guess the film can tell that story. But they were calling so many penalties. I mean, we had maybe 300 yards in penalties in that game, which was horrible. But it's funny how those penalties just disappeared, Thursday night. We only had 2. So I don't know. I don't want to be a victim for that. But that game was just a little different. We never were in threat there. We pretty much controlled that game. But we just kept getting behind the sticks, and it just kept dragging out. But I thought there was a lot of great things that happened in that game. Number one, we traveled our team the night before. We stayed in a hotel. The kids got a chance to bond, and we did a lot of kind of like next level, like college, NFL, like team meetings, college film review. Had a great hotel that took care of us. Broke out the Xbox, played some Madden and some NCAA for the kids. The kids got a chance to just bond. Woke up the next morning and breakfast and meetings and then walkthroughs, and then went to the game. And because of the heat, everything got pushed back. So it was just a weird atmosphere. But
did you kick off at 8?
Kicked off at 8:30.
Oh.
So our JVs kicked off at 6. But all in all, it was a great experience. Just travel to get that in there, the bonding aspect of it. As far as from the game, we established the run. They were more physical than we thought they were going to be on film, but we were never in any danger there. We probably could have put up some more if those penalties weren't there, but it was a game that we needed to get out of our system.
Pre-snap penalties, holding penalties, everything, right? You say 300 yards, that's everything.
It was like pre-snap. They were saying our guys were over the ball, and they weren't. And we're watching it on film, and I don't know. I don't want to get into the ref blame game, but it just was a little strange.
A little sus.
Let's
just put that way.
Yeah.
All right. So Matt Whitney on Thursday. You mentioned short week. Thursday game, 53-18. Like, guys are just rolling offensively. Just like your guys are just clicking.
Yeah, it was. Two of those scores. One came on a kickoff return late, and the other score came off of the last drive, last play with all of our backups in. So our starters only gave up 6 in that game. So it was a pretty dominant performance across the board. We were super excited to see that because the kids have been working extremely hard. But the game plan was stop the run the ball, control the clock. That's kind of how football games are won, and then take our shots when we needed to take shots. And it just, we had 8 drives, scored on all 8, and it was a really impressive performance just from a physical standpoint. We want to establish a physical nature in our run game, and we want to establish a physical nature in our run defense. And I think both sides of the ball kind of rose to the task in that, and it was fun to watch. We got a good quarterback, Bowden Smith, who led the game. I think he was 8 of 10, and so he has 80% completion rating. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 throwing, and he's just such a leader. He's just such a leader. He's just such a natural leader, has a calm presence about him. And the kids really rally around him and really respect him. So it's fun to watch him go. And then I don't know if our running backs, we're still working on our stats, but Samir Muhammad had a tremendous game. I think he had 3 rushing touchdowns, probably over 200 yards. And we're still working on those stats. So I don't know them right off the back of my hand. But then Elijah Maldonado and Tremaine Moore, 2 other running backs. That running back room is really good. Plus, our receiving core, with Jewel Jones and Nate Rodriguez, J.C. LaFell, Sam Chaddick, and you know, a bunch of the other guys that get in there. It's a fun team to watch. But you know, we got to approach every day like, you know, we just got to get 1% better, you know, and we're nowhere near where we want to be, which is a good thing because you don't want to be that early. So we got some growing still to do. We got a tough schedule the rest of the way. There's no gimme on there, and we just got to keep taking it one day at a time.
So those kids you mentioned, I've seen seniors. This, like last year, what were their roles, and then how expectations and going into their senior year, they got to be big.
Yeah, so, you know, last year we had a ton of adversity, and these kids kind of lived through that. And, you know, when you're put in uncomfortable situations, which we all were put in last year, we always say if you're put in, you know, to have extreme growth, you know, you got to be put in uncomfortable situations, but you got to protect your spirit, you know, because if your spirit goes, then those uncomfortable situations will beat you. Well, these guys protected their spirit throughout that deal, and so there was tremendous growth just from them as individuals and players. And so we had extreme growth from that senior group. That was a part of what we went through last year and the adversity, and it made us better individuals. It made us better, just better football players and just people. And so you're starting to see this team really just like glue together. And it all starts with our quarterback, Bowden, who really is the glue of this group. They've been following him since they were in middle school, so he's a tremendous guy to have. He's like an extra coach for us. But yeah,
is he a big kid? Like he's got a good arm. I mean, This is game one stats, right? 12 of 15 for 180.
Yep.
So he knows where to go with the football.
Yep. Super intelligent. You know, he's super intelligent, super savvy. Baseball player too. I think has the ability to play at the next level as a quarterback in a certain area, a certain niche for him. But he understands football. He studies the game. He's not a roller coaster of emotions. He's very, very just even keel, and you know, and that's what you need in a leader. You know, and he has such a natural. He just has such natural leadership. Reminds me of Colt Nelson that I had at Madera, you know, who was probably one of the best quarterbacks I've ever been around. But Bowden reminds me a lot of him, is from an attitude and approach and not letting the game be too big and making the main thing the main thing.
Mohammed, right? Huge game in the week 160. You said had 3 touchdowns in Thursday's game. Scat back, big guy. You can like give him the ball and jet sweep. I mean, like what type of player is he?
He's a downhill runner.
Okay.
You know, we're a downhill run team. That's kind of the new identity we're really trying to establish here. And he's a bruiser, and he's going to find his way, and he's going to take more than just an arm tackle to bring him down. And he'll keep his legs moving. He's hard worker, hard runner. Comes from a family. I played with his uncle at Bullard. His uncle's older than me. His uncle played for Tim Randall in those years, but he was a monster of a running back too. You know, so there's some pedigree there for him in that room. And then Elijah Maldonado, same thing. Elijah Maldonado is just an extremely smart player, plays both sides of the ball for us and runs the ball extremely hard. And then Tremaine Moore, who's a sophomore, I see a lot of potential in him. You know, I've been around a lot of great running backs from the Bullard days, and he reminds me of some of those guys. So he's got a huge upside.
Defensive-wise, like what are you guys running, or what do you want to say about your defense? Because you're kind of a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah, I am. I am calling the plays now.
There you go. All right.
On offense. No, on offense.
On offense.
Yeah, Justin Nash still our head,
okay.
our assistant head coach, and he's still calling the defense. He does a tremendous job, and I think he has the makings of a great defense. I think our D-line with Aiden Arredondo and Zion Frazier and Jaden Austin and J.J. Smith, I think that's one of the top D-lines in the area. And I think they're going to protect a lot of the back end and as far as pass rush and whatnot. And I think they'll protect our linebackers. But those guys are not fun to block, especially Zion Frazier. And, you know, we're getting our butts whooped by him every day in practice. And then we're wondering if it's us. And then he goes out and he, you know, it's nice to see that.
He's just against other guys.
It's not just us. So we're excited about that defensive front. Coach Nast who's I think one of the top defensive coaches in the whole area. I think he's bringing an energy and he's bringing kind of a culture and a grit to that side of the ball, and we're excited. We're excited for what we got defensively.
All right, so Joseph Ferris, offensive coordinator this year, right? Like you said, downhill running, that's going to be your thing. You got a quarterback that's smart, can make some plays as well. Like philosophy-wise, or like what are you really trying to establish as being the offensive coordinator?
Well, we've always ran the same system ever since we got to Madera. So Rustin Pickett, we ran that system. Then Kenny Pollinelli came in. We ran the same system. It's always been the system that we've established. Went to Bullard. We had, when I was with Donnie that 1 year, we ran the same system with Colby Hunter and ARAX. And it's a spread RPO tripod system kind of deal. George ran it with us in here. So the system has never changed. It's always been there. But now it's like I'm getting behind the wheel, which this will be my first time calling an offense, but I've always had a grasp of the system. But now it's like you start to get into those games, and you're a defensive coach your whole pretty much career, and you start thinking about getting the defense rest and ball control, and then you get, all those years with ARAX and stuff. So now it's like we kind of gone to a little bit more pistol downhill power with the same principles as far as we're gonna RPO off of it. We're going to control the linebackers. We're going to kind of control the second level with the play action, but we are going to be a little bit more downhill and really try to establish that run. That's what we want to do. We want to control the clock, run the ball, take our shots when we need to take our shots, and we're calling play. From being a defensive guy, there's 18 areas of the field the defense has to defend, and they got 11 guys to do it. So they're giving up something. So we want to find that and keep working that.
So you got Kerman next week, then Union, Lompoc. That's an away game, so that's going to be a little bit of a drive for you guys. Then you get the bye week, and then CMAC. All right, so Kerman, you know what they did last year, putting up points again. They got a quarterback and all that stuff. Coach Jenkins, he's a dude as a coach as well. Like game plan, what are you looking forward to that game? That game's going to be away as well.
I mean, Kerman's always is kind of like where we want to measure our bar right now because they're the top dog, and we're approaching it as such. Jenkins coached for me. He was my defensive coordinator when we opened the school, and he coached for me a bunch of years as the DB coach at Bullard when I was the DC. So we know each other very well. And then Anthony McCoy, his offensive coordinator, coached with me at Madera, and I coached Anthony at Bullard, and he's probably one of the best. He's probably one of the best high school players I've ever seen play when he was going. So ton of respect for Kerman. We both know each other inside and out. They know my system. I know they're running similar to what we ran when he was with us. So it's kind of like that old Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. But it's always fun to go against those guys because Coach Jenkins is he's such a culture coach. He creates a great culture. He's such a motivator, and he really gets those kids to play hard. And we have nothing but respect for him. But we want to go in there and compete and play our kind of football, and just kind of let the score take care of itself.
Who haven't you coached with? My gosh, when I coached with him, and I coached his uncle, I played with his uncle, and I coached with Dave. I mean, just right.
One thing I'm super proud of is my coaching.
It is. It's awesome.
As a head coach, I pride myself on getting young guys to come in and who want to be head coaches, or even older guys that kind of had their shot and they want to come back and recharge. I love that people say that go to Ferris, you'll recharge. He'll teach you how to. He'll get you to where you want to be if you want to be a head coach. And I want guys that want to be head coaches. Rustin Pickett, he went off to Hoover, and then now he's at Rigetti, and then Kenny Pollinelli took over at Madera for me, and he's just, he grew so much, and he's doing such a great job out there. And then Sean Kilduff, who went out to Fowler, he did a tremendous job out there. They should have never got rid of him. And now he's at North with Colby, and then, you had Nagel, who was with me at Bullard, and then he went to Clovis East, and then George came back, and he was with me, and now he's at Clovis East. And I'm just so proud of those guys. And I think the next guy up is going to be Justin Nast. I think Nast is going to be a head coach somewhere. and he's going to do a tremendous job. And then, you know, we'll see who the next guy is. But I love guys who come in and want to be head coaches, and I'd like to think that I help them a little bit along that way in that path, and just push them out into the world. I'm really proud of my coaching tree. You know, I think that speaks volume to a head coach when you can get leaders to follow you and to grow, and then they go on and they become leaders, and they take stuff that they learn from you, and you just watch it grow at each program. You know, I was especially proud of Clovis East with Nagel, and now George is there, so it's just kind of what's going on. And you know, Donnie has a tremendous tree too, so you see that. You know, he has me and Biggs in there. It's just, I think that's cool. I think that's coaching.
It is, absolutely. There's a little bit of Coach Ferris in all these schools that we're looking at here in the spreadsheet. It says a lot about you.
I forgot Kerman, you know, Jenkins, he coached. He was DC for me, so now he's out there, so it's just, it's fun.
It is. What's fun for you, and I love talking about this every time we get together, right? You had a good summer.
I did.
You had a good summer. So why don't you just set it up for everybody? I teased it a couple times in the show, but you're able to take part in the highest level of football in the world. That's at the NFL level. So just walk us through how that all came about again this year.
Well, so this is my 4th year doing the Bill Walsh Diversity Internship. It's probably the most competitive coaching internship in the world. There's 32 teams, and each team takes a different amount of people, and it's just they get over 1,000 applications each team. And this year I was blessed and fortunate enough to be with the San Francisco 49ers, who was my favorite team growing up, and it was just an honor. You know, it was just something that kind of came about word of mouth. My connections from the Falcons kind of connected me with the Niners, and I didn't even really interview for this one. They kind of just had heard about me word of mouth, and brought me in, and I was there for 3 weeks, and I worked with the linebackers on the defensive side. So I was with Fred Warner and those guys, and Johnny Holland, who I think is the best linebacker coach in the league, and KJ Wright, who was his assistant, and then Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley. And it was just an amazing opportunity, and it's one that I'll never forget. Made tremendous connections there, and it was once in a lifetime, really. And so, ton of great football being taught in that building. It's the original building, where Bill Walsh and those guys walked. Got on the sideline. Family came out to some training camps, which was amazing for them because I had been in Chicago and Atlanta. They really hadn't got a chance to come see me do this. It was amazing for them. Preseason game, they got to come and sit close, and my mom was in VIP on the 50-yard line, and was right there. Her first NFL game ever, my dad's first NFL game ever, my kid's first NFL game ever, and there I am on the sideline with the 49ers. So made huge connections with Gus Bradley, Robert Saleh. Kyle Shanahan was class act. John Lynch was class act. They all were super kind and nice, and I can't speak enough about that organization, and it is my favorite football team. So.
I know. It is your favorite football team. All right, so when they handed out your gear, what did they hook you up with? When you put that polo on for the first time, looked yourself in the mirror, what's going through your mind?
It's like surreal. They walk you in the locker room, there's your name on a locker. And then you got your 49er backpack with your name on it, and you got all your gear in there, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just, the goal. I knew I never was going to play at the next level because God just didn't give me the physical attributes to do that. But the goal was always to backdoor and get in the league somehow through coaching. Well, time goes on, you don't really know what's going to happen. You're coaching 23 years, and then all of a sudden this NFL internship starts popping up, and people are really putting your name out there, and it's continuing 4 years in a row, which it's really hard to even get one. And then you start saying, man, this can happen. And then you're with your favorite football team, and it's just like, I don't know, man, God is good all the time. And it's a dream. It's just a dream come true. I've touched the highest level 4 times. I've counted the weeks. I've been in the NFL for 2 months, a little bit over 2 months, and not a lot of people get a day in there, and so I'm blessed either way. Whatever happens, God is good.
Is that an ultimate goal for you?
You know, I'd be lying if I said no. You know, I would love to coach in the league. But right now the main thing's the main thing, and that's Justin Garza football. So we're focused on them and bringing back what we've learned from the league to them. But, you know, the league is something that's always been in the back of my mind.
So you're in the meeting rooms with the linebackers. Like, what are you guys chopping up? Or you just kind of give us a little glimpse of what that looks like.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of it's film, digesting the practice film. So, you know, after practice, you get your lunch, and you go sit in the defensive room, and then that with the staff, and that's a 2-hour meeting. Then immediately after that, you go to position meetings, and that's another 2-hour meeting. So you're 4 hours of meeting watching the same film, and then you go out to walkthroughs for special teams, and then install for the next day. And so a lot of the position meetings is, you know, Johnny's going to go over teach tape, and he's going to go over like corrections and whatnot, and then at the end we'll go over the install for the walkthrough, and then the install for the next day. But you know, those guys are so in tune with everything that, you know, Fred Warner is, you know, helping coach guys up, and D Winters is helping coach guys up. But you know, right now it's a room of 5 with the practice squad maybe being 8. But you know, when that wasn't a huge room as far as like they had 12, I think. And, you know, they're just watching film, going through corrections. And then after walkthroughs, the rookie meetings start. So, like, the rookies would come in, and we'd meet, like, me and KJ would meet with, like, Nick Martin and Blanton, Stone Blanton. And we would just go through stuff that they needed to go over. And I actually I was super grateful that KJ allowed me to do some coaching and chalk in that meeting. Because I think he saw, you know, I did know exactly kind of what I was talking about and whatnot. And so it was a huge opportunity and a huge ability to just grow and just be with those guys. And you know, they say they break every huddle with best in the world on 3. And I think Fred Warner is the best in the world at linebacker. He's an amazing athlete. So it was fun.
What was your role during the game?
So I was charting plays. I was charting solace calls and explosives, run or pass, and what happened on those plays. So that was kind of my role there. Oh, and I was also on rep count for the linebackers. So I had to make sure, you know, certain guys didn't go over certain reps, and I had to keep telling Coach Holland, Johnny Holland, who's just a great person, first of all. Kept on him about the reps and all that stuff, and so. Nothing huge, but a little something.
Which game was that? I don't even know.
It was the Broncos game.
It was the Broncos game?
Yeah.
So you get your iPad and you're communicating and all that, right? A little bit?
No,
Is that
iPad,
how that works?
pen and paper.
Pen and paper.
You can't have – there's certain electronics you can't have on the field. I can't even wear my Apple Watch down there. Yeah, you can't have anything down there. So
because you can't, like, for safety reasons, security reasons?
Security reasons and you know, the sign stealing and whatnot.
Yeah.
You can only have the Microsoft Surface down there. For the photos.
Got it.
But you can't even have your Apple Watch.
Really? Okay.
No, you can't even have a Fitbit on.
Okay.
Nothing. And you can't even have it in the booth either. So at 90 minutes before game time, all that has to go off, or else you get fined by the NFL.
Wow. So you did meet John Lynch?
I did.
Is he? What's he like, man? Is he like he still looks good? He's still fit, man.
Yeah, he still looks it. We talked about the Morgan Wallen concert. That's pretty much our conversation, because he'd gone to the Morgan Wallen concert because it was right there at Levi. But super nice guy, super approachable. His son is on the defensive staff, so I got to know Jake Lynch a lot, who played at Stanford, and now he's a quality control with the Niners. Great family. It's such a great family atmosphere, too, because, you know, Kyle Shanahan's, his kids are running around out there. Salah's kids are running around at practice. They're running routes and walkthroughs and stuff, and it's just such a cool little atmosphere. You know, it's really something nice to see. And the standard is extremely high there. You know, you could tell right when you walk in the building. There's not a lot of fooling around. They're all about business. So, but yeah, no, John Lynch was a great guy to just be around, with all of them, all welcoming, such great people.
Does it seem like a dream still? Like
it does,
right?
Yeah, it does. I really haven't had time to reflect on it too much, because it was just hit the ground running when I got back.
Yeah.
But, you know, they checked on me last week to see how we did, you know, a bunch of them. I made a huge connection with Gus Bradley, and I'm looking forward to watching that grow. But it was a great
That's awesome.
Great deal.
That's awesome. We got a few minutes here with Coach Ferris. All right, so I'm curious. You're a very reflective person, but the difference between pros, college, and where you are right now with high school sports, the different chapters of players' lives and what that means. Obviously, it's a different level. You mentioned it's all business, right? When you get to the pro level. Mm-hmm. Like, where do you see, or how do you even preach that to the kids? Do you reflect on that at all? And it kind of changes your mindset and how you coach your team and how you shape your young men, just regards of what you see at the next levels?
Well, what you really see a difference in is you see just, obviously the maturity of the player, right? So sometimes when high school kids, they're thinking about other things. They're thinking about how many likes they got on Instagram and whatnot, or what they're going to, maybe something's going on at home. But as you get older, it becomes more of a business, and college is becoming more of a business with the NIL and all that aspect. But when you get to the highest level and you're around elite minds such as Fred Warner, there's no rep, there's no moment that's taken for granted. There's nothing as far as like, I remember I was doing the gold digger points, which is where they count the points for practice for tackles and punch aways and things like that, and solid prevents the gold digger ball to them, and they get the ball and whatnot. And one of the plays, so D Winters won it, and I was the one who made the cut up and whatnot. And one of the plays was D Winters making a tackle on a play action, and it was for a little bit of a gain, and they're like, and it was just he didn't like that was a point that he got. It was like he didn't want that point because it was like he's for a gain. He wanted something better. It's just so competitive. They're so competitive every single day, and they're ultra competitive. I mean, at the elite level of competitiveness. And I just think that sometimes the high school kid and the college kid sometimes gets lost in other stuff because they got to worry about so much other stuff. You're not saying the NFL guys don't. The NFL guys just compartmentalize a little bit better. But their approach to everything in the NFL, from study to practice, I mean, every rep is full speed. Every rep is full speed because you don't know how many reps you're going to get. And they always say, you got few reps, but you got all of them because you're sitting there on the side mentally locked in, and everybody's mentally locked in. They come up to me, I have the script, what's the call, coach? Okay, they get the call. I think you just see that I think you don't see that at the high school level. When they're not on the field, they're off talking about, I don't know what the heck they're talking about. They're talking about something, and they're not locked in and focused. And so I think that's the part of the job too, is you got to get them focused and locked in on the sidelines, and make sure that you say, hey, stay locked in, get mental reps. And in the NFL, if you don't do that, you're going to fall behind
and you're going to lose your job.
You're going to lose your job. Yeah. And it's such a cutthroat business. You could be doing all that, but they need to sign a backup quarterback, and now the roster number just says, hey, we got to let you go right now, but we might bring you back. So your film's your resume, your practice film's your resume, and that's for the coaches too. Johnny said that too. He said, I don't care about all, you could tell me all these titles and this and that. He's like, I'll put on the film, and I want to see your kids play. I want to see your guys play, and that's your resume. So they know that that's their resume. That's what they're putting out there, and they're trying to feed their family and make generational wealth too along the way. So
Adrian Martinez goes from the Jets to the Niners basically in one day too, right? So I think you missed him by a couple of weeks, but yeah, that's the nature of pro sports. Joseph, I wish we had more time. Got to wrap it up, but always a pleasure to talk to you.
For sure.
Big fan. Got a lot in common. Appreciate you, answering texts and all that good stuff. And good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Paul. It's always a pleasure to be on here. Thank you very much.
And we only got one, pop culture reference in your Spider-Man. We didn't talk about Star Wars or nothing. We were going to rip some cards. We should have ripped some cards next time. All right. Thanks, my friend. Have a great rest of the week. All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to bring on Trevor Horn down in Bakersfield. Really good win from Clovis West last night, beating Liberty. What did he see on the field? You're going to listen to it all on the Central Valley Sports Report on 1430 ESPN.
ESPN Fresno is proud to bring back the Student Athlete of the Week. Each week, we'll honor a local high school standout for their performance on the field, in the gym, or on the court. It's our way of celebrating the hard work, dedication, and talent of Valley athletes who give it their all. And it all leads to Student Athlete of the Year. Do you have an athlete you believe is worthy of this award? Enter them in at 1430ESPNFresno.com today. The Student Athlete of the Week, shining a spotlight on the stars of tomorrow.
Summer's wrapping up. It's time to get back to business and back to looking sharp. The holidays will be here before you know it, along with every big event in between. At Fresno Suit Outlet, they've got you covered with their famous 3-suit deal. 3 suits, 3 shirts, 3 ties, 3 belts, 3 pairs of socks, and 3 hankies, just $3.99. Plus shoes start at just $39 too. Only at the Fresno Suit Outlet on Blackstone, just north of Shaw, with the Golden Horse out front, and online at FresnoSuitOutlet.com.
Hey everybody, Paul Meadors here, host of the Central Valley Sports Report. I want to give a big shout out to Clovis Stone, Masonry, and Landscape Supply, proud supporters of all high school athletics, especially our Clovis schools. For over 50 years, they've been the Valley's go-to for natural and artificial stone, brick, block, bark, hummus, you name it, they've got it, with fast delivery available. Find them on Sunnyside, just south of Herndon and Clovis, or online at clovisstone.net. Ball improvement starts here at Clovis Stone.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Think back to a time when you've had to contend with a difficult challenge in your life, but that, in the end, came out okay. I'm willing to bet that in almost all those cases, you had someone alongside you that you trusted, whether the challenge related to a career change, a health crisis, or even the death of a loved one. But if the challenge is divorce, and you're a guy, there's a good chance that your trusted friend for all life's challenges to date has been your spouse, whom the legal system now terms the opposing party. This is why guys notoriously are prone to feeling isolated and alone during the divorce process. The good news is you don't have to go through this alone. Let Cordell and Cordell be the partner that you can count on through the challenges of divorce. Call us at 866-DADS-LAW or visit CordellCordell.com. You are not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's California area attorneys. 866-DADS-LAW, 1455 Frazee Road, Suite 500, San Diego, California, 92108. CordellCordell.com.
I'm here at the Roger Dunn Open. Former Fresno State football coach Pat Hill is at the first tee.
Hey, it's a fairway hit.
Yeah, but that's the wrong fairway, Coach.
I need to buy a golf game.
Coach, I really think you need a Roger Dunn makeover.
When you buy a game at Roger Dunn, you can play anybody, anytime, anywhere. This is the old coach, Pat Hill. I bought this 7-iron at Roger Dunn Golf. Number 8 at Tehama, 162 yards out. Eagle, baby!
Summer's winding down. The trips, the pool days, the backyard barbecues. Now it's back to your daily routine. And Jones Cleaning Center is here to help you make the most of it. With Fresno's only 24-hour self-service pickup and drop-off drive-thru, you can skip the hassle. Drop off by 9 a.m. and enjoy same-day service at no extra cost. From work clothes to weekend wear, table linens to bedding, Jones Cleaning Center keeps it all fresh and ready so you have time for everything else. Serving Fresno for over 55 years. On Palm just north of Herndon or online at jonescleaning.com.
Sports fans of the Central Valley, are you ready to step up your game day grilling? Step into the Butcher Boss and discover winning flavors the champions crave. Ask about their 5 for $35 deal, where you can feed up to 5 people for $35 every day. Located right off the 41 north of Avenue 11, stop by the Butcher Boss today and become the boss of your barbecue.
This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
It's a fresh game in your mind. Just kind of walk us through that game. What were the expectations? What were the vibes? Like, how did that game play out?
Well, it was one of those games where you kind of looked at it. It was like, here was a Clovis West team that went down to Huntington Beach and played a top 25 ranked Edison team, very tough in a 2013 loss. Then you have Liberty, who flew out to a Denver suburb in Colorado last week, had a 45-42 lead over the number 4 team ranked in the state of Colorado, Mountain Vista, only to lose 49-45. So you had 2 top 10 ranked teams in the Central Section battling out in Week 2, coming off of monster out-of-area non-league games. So you looked at it and you went, wow, okay, so here's a Liberty team who's got a Michigan State commit at left tackle and 2 young running backs and a senior quarterback that just threw for 411 yards. Here's a Clovis West team that is stacked front to back with, a national recruit at quarterback in sophomore J.J. Howard. So you're looking at yourself, you're like, okay, well, this is probably going to be an offensive shootout. You just thought that it was going to be both teams shooting it out instead of just one. And that's kind of what happened last night. Howard gets the ball, and he gets aggressive, and he throws an out route. It gets picked off by Dennis Perry, and then Carter Hansen, the sophomore running back for Liberty, runs it in the very next play for 25 yards, and then Clovis West goes on a 36-0 run until Liberty finally gets back on the board with a long touchdown late in the third quarter. And that was just kind of the night. It was, a Liberty team that's already out with their starting safety who got hurt against Mountain Vista last week, and Luke Biamonte, and then you had Brandon Thrasher and Carter Hansen are 2 of their top DBs, both cramping up throughout the night. And so you had a depleted secondary going against an elite quarterback, and J.J. Howard just kind of picked that defense apart in a 43-14 victory. A very impressive victory for Clovis West, but it was also one of those losses where you go, where does Liberty go from here? Because when you look at the rest of their non-league schedule, it's a gauntlet. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I have a sweeping declaration about J.J. Howard that I'd like to make, and some people may agree with me. Some people are going to completely disagree with me. But do you want me to make it?
Well, I mean, people would never disagree with you. My gosh, that's never happened in our life. What are you talking about?
That has never happened.
All right, what do you got? What's this sweeping statement you're about to make?
J.J. Howard, just a sophomore, is the most polished quarterback the Central Section has seen at the high school level since Cody Kessler at Centennial 13, 14 years ago. You got to remember, now hear me out, ladies and gentlemen, you're throwing things across the living room right now. You're honking your horn while you're driving your car. You're mad at me. I get it. But listen to me. What I saw last night was something that I have not seen at the high school level in the Central Section from a quarterback in high school since I moved here from the Sacramento area in 2014. Jordan Love was a late bloomer. He only had one offer, and that was Utah State. And he got better as he got older through Utah State and now with the Green Bay Packers. Josh Allen was a very late bloomer. No offers out of Fireball. Went to Reedley before he went to Wyoming, and now he's probably, the best quarterback in the world. Alec Trujillo, absolutely fantastic high school quarterback. Trent Tompkins, absolutely fantastic high school quarterback. Deegan Rose, phenomenal high school quarterback. But when you look at the full package at just a sophomore, what I saw out of J.J. Howard last night was, to me, the best that the Central Section has seen since Cody Kessler did before he went on to star for the USC Trojans. He has that it factor. He's got the mobility, he's got the vision, he's got the strong arm, and he's got that swagger that you want to see. There was that final touchdown that he threw in the fourth quarter. Questionable to be throwing up that much, but I'm not in the huddles. I don't know what the coaches are deciding on. He rolls out, throws a dart, just an absolute dart across his field to the front end of the end zone to his wide receiver. He turns around and just gives a little bit of a smirk to the Liberty sideline. Doesn't say anything, just gives a little bit of a smirk. And I'm standing 5 feet away from him when he does this. And he just turns around and just casually jaunts off. It's that X factor that J.J. Howard has as a sophomore. And I watched him play last year in the same game up at Buchanan at Veterans, and he is a totally different beast now than he was 12 months ago. It's Fresno, Clovis, you guys got somebody special in J.J. Howard. Enjoy the next 3 years before he goes off to wherever he chooses to go, because by the time he gets to next summer, he's going to have everybody offering him because he's phenomenal.
Well, that's probably what he's thinking, right? When he did the smirk 5 feet away from you and the Liberty sidelines, he's probably saying, hey, you guys are going to have to deal with me for this year and 2 more years after this.
It was enjoyable to watch. You know, and I'm a Bakersfield area sports reporter. So obviously, you know, I've got more of a vested interest in those here in Kern County than I do outside of. But I also see talent when talent's standing right in front of me and smirking back, and that dude's got talent.
So thinking about some of the other schools up here, Clovis had that really dominating game. Again, their non-league schedule is not as formidable as, say, Central, who lost to Grant. So would you put Clovis West, even knowing what you know about Clovis High and Central, would you put them as contenders?
I put the entire track outside of maybe Buchanan right now. Any one of them can win on any given night. Central East losing to Grant is whatever. It's kind of like, you know, Liberty playing Oaks Christian next week or Frontier playing Lincoln out of San Diego in 3 weeks. You kind of just throw those out the window and you say, go play ball, see what happens. But there's some big dogs going on right now. And, you know, it's tough to win a lot of football games. And, you know, with Deegan Rose getting Israel Briggs to add into the fold there for the Cougars, and you see what J.J. Howard has with Juju Sanders and his bevy of wide receivers and their running back. Oof, that guy's a powerful guy, too. That's a very, very good team for Clovis West. They're going to surprise some people this year.
Remember,
I think you kind of have. I'm still waiting for Clovis East to kind of play that like blowout win game. These wins over Bullard and Kingsburg are good, but they're not big blowout wins yet. I think the top 3 right now are Central East, Clovis, and Clovis West. And it might be, you know, Central East is going to get it because I think that they have a little bit more of that all-around package when you look at the talent on the field. And I think they are still the top dogs until somebody knocks them off. But Clovis and Clovis West right now are knocking on the door.
Clovis East is going to be playing Sanger, and then they play that same Grant team that just beat Central. All right, so we got a couple minutes here with you, Trev. Bakersfield area, like you said, hey, track is dominating so far. So you talked about the the Liberty giving up all those points, but got Frontier, right? A lot of chatter about them. I had them ranked way too high, obviously. What's the deal with Frontier right now?
No offensive identity right now. And that is out of the mouth of their head coach, Chris Bandy, last night. He goes, we're not gelling on offense right now. And it's crazy to think that when you look at that offensive line, you've got, 3 future Division I athletes on the offensive line. You've got a New Mexico State commit at quarterback. You got a New Mexico State commit at tight end. You got a Oregon State commit and Malcolm Watkins at wide receiver. And you got 2 really good running backs in Adrian Walker and Talon Mather. But there's no cohesion. They've scored 14 points in the first 2 games. Now, albeit Liberty out of Brentwood, very good team. Oak Ridge out of the Sacramento area, very, very, very good football team. But you look at Liberty and Frontier's still got to play Clovis next week at home. Then they got to bye. Then they go to Lincoln and San Diego. Then they got to play at Clovis North. Liberty's got Oaks Christian coming in next week. Then they're at Buchanan. And then they're home against Central East to finish off non-league. Are are both of those teams going to be 1-4, 0-5
Right.
going into the
Right.
weekly? I mean, you talk about playing up in phase one. Brian Nixon, famed Liberty former head coach, always said phase one, phase two, phase three. Phase one is your non-league, and then league, and then the playoffs, right? So you play phase one to get ready for the other two. But at what point do you look at it and go, how do we keep the continuity? How do we keep the mojo going when, you know, we're 0-5 going in October? I mean, we're 1-4 going to October. I mean, I've seen some great teams go 1-4 and go on to, you know, play or win section championships and get into the state playoffs. But, I mean, it takes a strong unit to be able to do that, because you have to keep the mindset of the whole team going in the same direction. And there's chatter in the locker room, on the field, at home, in the classrooms, in the community. You know, it's all of those things that you've got to keep into place as you move forward, as these games start to fall. So it's very interesting. They're both, I mean, those are the top three strength of schedules right now through the first 2 weeks in the Central section. Central number 1, Frontier number 2, Liberty number 2, Frontier number 3. And they're going to continue to stay up there in strength of schedule, because, like I said, what they have over the next 3 weeks is a continued gauntlet. So it'll be very interesting to see how Frontier and Liberty finish off and play through the month of September.
Well, Clovis looked really good last night. That game against Frontier next week, that's going to say a lot about both teams. If there's a blowout by Clovis, that's going to say a lot about Frontier and a lot about Clovis as well. And then, hey, you and I are going to be able to hang out on September 11th when Liberty comes and plays Buchanan at the Vet. Fingers crossed.
Still kind of on the fence, but yeah, fingers crossed.
I'll pitch in for gas
going on in town that I gotta really. I want to get up there. I'm not as 100% as I was before. I've got some obligations in town that I have to kind of reassess before I start getting back out of town.
All right. We'll figure that out. If you come, I'll treat you to a hamburger again. All right, and we'll chop it up.
I would appreciate it. Can I get 2? Cheeseburger.
2 cheeseburger. All right, buddy. Good job by you. Good job by you, my friend. Keep grinding down there and keep doing all the great stuff that you're doing.
Hey, man, keep on keeping on, man. You do a great job up there in Fresno and Clovis, man. They should be very appreciative of you. I say that every time, Paul. I love you, bud.
All right. Love you too, brother. Talk to you soon. All right. That is a wrap for the show. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. Thanks to First String Sports, Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, Tanvir Singh for producing the show. Great job by him. Tony Gates, Joseph Ferris, and, of course, Trevor Horn. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Football fans, it's Phil Benatti here with Behind the Bench. Big thing I think about with tailgates is the food, and the best place to get ready for it is visiting Grocery Outlet in Kerman, Sanger, and Fresno's Southeast, Downtown, and Northwest stores. Stock up and save big on quality meats, snacks, drinks, beer, and wine, and same quality as the big chain stores, but at lower prices. And while you're there, sign up for the Tailgate